Hey, good morning everybody, and welcome to such a beautiful, beautiful day here in Northern Illinois. It's the day after my birthday, and so first of all, I want to thank everybody for the wonderful birthday wishes. And second of all of those wishes really did come together and help me create one of the most amazing birthdays I've ever had. See, in my lifetime, as with most of you, the things that mattered to us most ended up being put on the back burner. We accommodated people, we put things aside, we said it's no big deal, it's no problem. We put our needs and the things that we wanted last. And because of that, it tended to make us a little numb, tired, not fulfilled, and disconnected more than anything. Mainly disconnected. So that pattern of beingness, that pattern of being so giving and not giving to ourselves is what kind of creates some of the problems that we're in. So if you don't know who I am, I'm Rita Hickman, a body-mind expert and a shiatsu massage therapist. And my specialty is helping women who are in narcissistic and toxic relationships really find themselves again, get whole, move forward in their life, get their energy back, clear the fog from their brain, get their heart healed, rewire their nervous system, and help them create the jobs and the lives and the relationships that they really want and not be controlled by the wounds that the narcissists have put upon us. So I was talking about how in the past, as with all of us, we tend to take our needs and we bury them inside of us and we keep them secret and we keep all sorts of things secret about us. And in our mind, in our way, that's how we protect ourselves. Don't give anybody too much information, because if they find out, then they'll use it against you, because that's what narcissists do. When you expose too much, when you're too vulnerable, when you're needy, that's when narcissists grab that little piece of information, and then when they aren't doing well, when they're triggered and they're angry and hurt, it ends up being thrown back at you. So for the longest time, I kept most of my life filled with secrets about how I felt, about what I was thinking, about letting people in. And those secrets kept me in a place of fight or flight, kept me in a place of disconnect, in a place of never quite feeling safe or comfortable. So here's how you start to change that. Because counterintuitively, with most people, not necessarily with narcissists, but most people, and even people who are narcissistic, who behave in a narcissistic way, but aren't true narcissists, this works with them too. Let's say they've got borderline personality, let's say they've got other mental health issues. This works in these situations too. So, and many of us have people who behave narcissistically, but might not be diagnosed as a narcissist. And for us, the victims, there really isn't a lot of difference. The difference is, let's say, long-term, whether someone is worth staying in a relationship or not, because, really their deeper intention is to have an intimate, close relationship. So, counterintuitively, when we let ourselves relax, when we let ourselves be vulnerable, when we, share some of our secrets, what happens is it helps the people around us feel more comfortable. And when the people around us feel more comfortable, then the connection grows. Then they're actually safer to be in a relationship with, because they don't feel so insecure. So it builds. When we share parts of ourselves, with people who have a positive intent, even if it's buried underneath their stress and anxiety, then it starts to build an intimacy and a closeness, and it starts to move us forward. So what tends to happen is when we're under stress, you and I, and when we're in narcissistic relationships, you're almost always under stress. You're frequently in a place of either fight or flight, or you're in the place of, thank God today went well. Oh my gosh. And it's wonderful on one hand, because it creates this fabulous sense of gratitude, like, oh, it's a beautiful day. I'm so glad it's a beautiful day. We end up in that back and forth. We're either protecting, being pulled in and protecting ourselves in that fight or flight in whatever way we do, or we are just so grateful and we want to make the most of the 5 minutes that we have of peace and quiet because we don't know when we're going to get it again. Now, this is okay, except what it does is it continues to keep you stuck. It keeps you in a cycle of beingness. When we continue to react or make the same choices that we've always made, then we're going to stay where we've always been. It's like action, action, reaction, action, consequence, karma, whatever you want to call it. That's what happens. That's what keeps you stuck. In order for you to actually start moving forward and really changing your life, how you feel, your inner life, your outer life, your relationships, all that neat stuff, the brain fog that you have, the knot in your stomach, the prickly skin, the choking up in your throat, the headaches, the vertigo, all of those things, you have to look beyond the on or off, yes or no. Either it's good or it's bad. We have to start breaking out of that cycle. And one of the best ways to do it is to give yourself time and vision and be in a different reality. Because our energy, how we show up to the world, is what ripples out and creates situations around us. It creates relationships and creates opportunities and creates new experiences. How we show up to life is what creates things around us. And so we not only need to show up, not just mentally with, let's say, mantras and things, although those are a good way to start. The next step is we have to start engaging our heart. We have to start engaging our emotions. And when we've got that clear thought and when our emotions are behind it, we start to create new opportunities for ourselves, new experiences. Experiences like I had yesterday, of an amazing day of people caring about me, about loving me, about making sure that I had a really great birthday. After a lifetime of me putting myself last, or I went through the rebellious years where I said, well, I don't care, this is what I'm doing because I'm not going to let my birthday pass again like I've always let it pass. When I got out of that either or, it's either you or me, it's them or us, or it's a bad day, it's a good day. When we give ourselves time to start envisioning something beyond or bigger or different than what we're experiencing now, that's how we start creating it. When we start letting ourselves really imagine and be in the future or the life or the reality or the relationship that we want, that's how we start creating it. So it's when you're traumatized, when you have PTSD, when you have these patterns of belief and behavior, when you have this stuff, part of your wiring is, on, off, good, bad, right, wrong. We're very linear in our thinking. We're very structured in our thinking. And you have to start broadening out and reaching out and expanding out into new ideas. Start exploring how you might like your life to look like. Would it be really exciting for you to go hang gliding one day? Maybe let yourself, go and do that. It might even be fun to start creating, if there were virtual reality, the whole VR glasses and things, if there were virtual reality for the things that we really wanted, like a happy relationship, so we could practice, just like the airline pilots do, and they're able to practice and get it right and make mistakes. Some people even in quantum physics feel that that's what we're doing now, that we're living in this computer matrix and we're practicing it all. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. There's a lot of science to back it up, which makes it really cool. But that's a bit of what life is like. It's about looking to see what we want to do next, who we want to be next, and spending a little bit of time in that space, imagining and practicing what it's like to have healthy relationships. That's what psychologists are actually there for. They give you an opportunity to experience what a healthier relationship or what a relationship with a healthier person looks like. What it looks like to have these things that you want, to not feel so stressed out, to not feel so crazy, to not feel so on, off, good, bad, right, wrong, so linear and limited. Now, I came at that also from my German background, a little bit of rigid thinking. But let me tell you, when you start opening up your thinking, when you start believing that there might be something different for yourself, and you start imagining what that different might possibly look like, and how exciting that would be, and how our heart would race in a positive way, and how we would come home and not have to walk on eggshells and feel like we belonged, like it was really home. That's what you got to start imagining and envisioning. You have to start imagining and envisioning the person that and the life that you want to have, because that's how we break out of the cycle. We break ourselves out of being controlled and trapped by people constantly pushing our buttons, which is a way to keep us stuck, a way to keep us managed and enslaved and controlled, and it's a conspiracy. Sorry, I am a conspiracy theorist at times. But for you yourself, you need to start imagining something greater and something beautiful and something bigger than you, even though it's hard. If you don't start doing that, then you're going to still be here. Now, even if you can't start, as I said, with your emotions, start with your mind. Start getting into books and reading what other people have done. Start watching the YouTube videos that say you can do it. Put Post-it notes everywhere. And piece by piece, you'll bring your heart along. You'll bring your emotions along. And, you know, one of my tricks is to pick something that's safe. I don't pick something that's like, ah! You know, I do sometimes. But more often than not, I go, you know, it would be really great if I could come home and be at peace. You know, it would be really great if I could have people who were part of my tribe and part of my community, and that I could depend upon because they've done some of their work. You know, I start with things like that, and I visualize and imagine it, because if you're here, let me tell you, it's absolutely true. We have to break out of the isolation, the secrets that we were taught we had to keep, the fears that we can't expose anything to people because it will be used against us, because it will be used to beat us emotionally and energetically, because we'll be betraying ourselves and re-victimizing ourselves by letting ourselves be open. The key is imagine and visualize that you are worthy, and that you have friends, and that you have healthy relationships, and that you handle your stress well, and that your body doesn't freak out every time that something happens. It took me a long time, you know, but I was doing it on my own. The difference to speed all of this up is to do it in a group, to do it with other people who are in a mastermind with you, creating something bigger than you, exactly like these live streams, and exactly like the Facebook group that I have, which is, look for it. It's Healthy Mindsets to Cope with Narcissists, and join or ask other people to join if you're already a part of it. And let's really stop beating each other up and belittling one another, and be a safe, compassionate, loving, healthy space for all of us to evolve, because that's how we change. That's how we make the difference, is we come together. That's how we speed it up. You start to trust. You start to work on your skills, you start to move forward, and you see other examples, and you vision about where you want to go and who you want to be. You can do this. You absolutely can do this, and we're all right behind you, okay? So, have a great rest of your day. Thank you for all of my birthday wishes. They were phenomenal, and I will see you tomorrow morning. Bye.